Hello everyone, got a deck profile for you today. This is a dozer control list with a super heavy samurai flair to it. I basically took the Infinitrack Machina deck I showed off before and have expanded the Infinitrack and Machina engines. Inspired by Aerosol TCG's list. So we have access to all of his one card combos, which you can find on his video. Do check them out, they're really cool. We also have our one card combos, the Superheavy Samurai, to get to the one card True King of all Calamities. We've somehow squeezed all this together into a just over 40 card deck. Couldn't get it down to 40. Everything is either at 3 because we want to draw it, or at 1 because we want to search it. Not much more I can do from that. So let's go through it. We've got our Super Heavy Samurai package, there's 10 cards here. We've got Wagon, Soul Piercer, they're your starters. Scales has become a bit of a garnet now, he's only got 1 copy, but that's okay. We have 1 Claw, 1 Horns, and 1 Peacemaker. Claw and Horns do the same thing, they just summon themselves if you control a Super Heavy Samurai. And Peacemaker is kind of a lone Fire Blossom, you use that to summon the Scales from the deck. It's a great way to get the elite monster off the field. Box is another garnet, you have to play it, it's just that good. If you draw it though, it's not so terrible, there are still combos you can do with it, discarding it and adding it back. Speaking of adding it back, we have Super Express Bullet Train. This card is crazy good, but we only need 1 because we can only use it once per turn. We can add back a machine from our graveyard to our hand every turn, so we can either add back Scales is quite a good one to add back. It gives you 2 monsters for 1 normal summon, or not even a normal summon if your board's been wiped. Dozer's a good card to add back, and of course Box is great to add back because it triggers its effect to search. And we've got a few targets for Box, we've got Claw, Drill, Tunnel and Trencher. Into our Infinitrack side now, we've got 3 Dozer and 3 Harvester. We have to play 3, not just because we want to draw them and they are very good starters, but also because of Metal Cruncher. Anything you want to search off Metal Cruncher, you probably need to play 3 copies of, so you can reveal 3 of it and add 1 at random to your hand. Dozer in particular is a really good extender. There are a lot of hands that can do the 1 card VFD and then continue extending into the Dozer control, which I should mention. The Earth Machine combos are to get Riverstormer, Gearbox, and Bullet Train into the graveyard with a anger knuckle on the field, and that creates a sort of loop where you're adding Gearbox back to your hand every turn with Bullet Train, and therefore getting more searches. So you out-resource your opponent. Lastly, in Infinitrack cards, we've got a Heavy Forward just to search whichever pieces you don't have and you happen to need. The thing odd about mine, I only have room for 1 Trencher. I've seen a lot of builds with 2, but 1 seems to be doing okay. I've got other normal summons I can use. Yeah, so that's it for Infinitrack. We've got Machinas, then we have Citadel, I already mentioned Metal Cruncher, and Fortress. Metal Cruncher is another one of your 1 card starters, and this is also a Machina card, is Redeployment and Overdrive. Redeployment is another 1 card starter, and Overdrive is an excellent card. It gets you access to Citadel, or you can get an extra Metal Cruncher search on your opponent's turn. But it also resets all your engine pieces, so you're putting your Trencher, your Tunneler, and some extra deck cards back into your deck, and adds them back from the banish zone, which is why it's really good. A lot of people are going to try to banish a Citadel and Fortress once they see you looping them, so Overdrive is great for that. And lastly, we've got the 6 cards I have for admitting that I'm sometimes going to be forced to go second. So Droplets is it's really good. I know it's extremely expensive, but it's expensive for a reason. It's a crazy card. There are other cards that do similar things, but this one outs Dragoon. Like, you can't out Dragoon with a Forbidden Chalice. Urgent Schedule I've seen people cutting and I don't see why. It's amazing. It's E-Telly twice. Why would you not play as many of that as you could? I guess the reason you wouldn't play as many as you could is because it's not any use going first, but you can still set it and flip it up on your opponent's turn, so it's almost disruption. And into the extra deck. We'll go from right to left because we'll build up to the big things. 3 Goliath, you do need 3. The combo fills the graveyard with Earth Machines, and you do extra ones so you can trigger Tunneler quicker. Scarecrow for the super heavy combos. Ballista to search Gearbox. Anger Knuckle is what we want to end on with the dozer control combos. Gadget is great to extend. Cliffort Genius is an option you can go into even if you're locked into Earth Machines that will it negates things. You can even get an extra little cheeky plus if you happen to activate Urgent Schedule while it's on the field. This is one card I'm trying out. It's a bit experimental. Underworld Goddess of the Closed World. It's another out to Dragoon. Had a couple of bad run-ins with it, you might have noticed. But also it's kind of a win condition against Drytron because all of their cards are reviving from the graveyard. And this can negate an effect that revives a monster from the graveyard once per turn. It's just nice having a big link monster because you learn if your opponent doesn't remove your stuff, you're going to end up with 3-4 monsters on your field, and it's a great way to convert that advantage into some kind of. I considered Boral Sword was another kind of game-ending card. What I was trying was Access Code Talker before, and without a good Link 3, a lot of these, even the Link 2s, can't be used as link material. So you're going to be using 3 or 4 regular monsters to make something like this. Gigagon X is a really good card, especially after the side decks come in. We can search our Cycle Reader. But it's also used in combos to find Anchor Drill or whatever we need. Really good generate machine card. River Stormer is part of the Earth Machine combo. Dingirsu is very good in this deck. It's a machine, so it can still attack after Urgent Schedule's been played. It can recycle your banished cards, like your Trencher and Dozer. And it makes a really good Zeus if you attach a material from the banished pile. Then you've already got 4 materials. You can throw in a Goliath and maybe a heavy forward, and you've got 6. It's just very good. Earth Slicer, when we want to go for 9, but we're locked into Earth Machines. That's not entirely true. If it's we've got a board to break, this might be better than True King Calamities. Speaking of whom, this is the scourge of the format. Without this, a lot of the things, this deck would look very different. It's a win condition. What was there to say? And then Zeus to clear up boards when there are, when you're falling behind, or this is good disruption. That's it. The side deck is even more tentative. Nibiru, Ash, Crow, Cycle Reader, only 1 because you can search it with Gigagon and recycle it with Bullet Train, so you only need 1. And we've got real spell and trap removal, not the stuff I usually put in super heavy decks. Just because if we're against a macro heavy deck, the super heavies might come out. There's a few enough number of them that we can side them all out. There's only 10. We just go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then maybe 3 Ash and a couple of Crows. Yeah. So that is the deck. I suppose I should show off the 1 card VFD now that we don't have Transporter. So let's do that. I say 1 card. It does also require Don't shuffle. It does also require a discard, so there's that. And what we're going to do is find our Soul Piercer straight off the bat. We'll equip it. And link it off for Scarecrow. Its effect, we're going to grab Soul Horns. You could grab Claw, but I like grabbing Horns just because Horns can't be searched by Gearbox. We're going to summon Horns, and then we're going to use our discard to get back Soul Piercer. There are a lot of cards in here that like being discarded, so it's not totally unreasonable to require a discard. And we have Gearbox. Ancient Gear Ballista is going to search Gearbox, and we also activate the Soul Piercer that we just sent to the graveyard to add Soul Peacemaker. And because we searched Gearbox, it was added to our hand, and we can activate its effect. We're going to grab Trencher. Now we will activate Peacemaker and use its effect to special summon Scales from the deck. Scales will bring back any of our level 4 Superheavy Samurai because we are going to XC summon now. Gear Gigant X. With Gear Gigant X, we can add Anchor Drill. Then we just make Platinum Gadget and special summon our Infinitrack monsters. And now we've got 2 level 9s thanks to the level modulation effect of Anchor Drill. Now there are, using 2 level 9s we can of course make True King Calamities. And there are ways to extend from here. If we had a Brutal Dozer in our hand already, we could activate this to turn everything Earth, and that would mean we could tribute the Earth Platinum Gadget. If at the start of our turn we had had our discard had been Infinitrack Harvester, we could now banish the Trencher to summon the Harvester and search the Dozer. And it doesn't actually matter that we're losing material on the True King of all Calamities because we're going to be sending Goliaths all over the place. We can attach one as a material and keep King of Calamities live for basically the rest of the game if the opponent can't answer it. So there are a few things that are tentative about the deck. Maybe I'll change 1 or 2 cards in the extra. But I'm going to be giving it a trial by fire in this weekend's Chalice Line Monthly, MBT's monthly tournament. We'll see how well it goes. Alright, any questions, leave them in the comments. Okay, cool, bye!